I've replayed that night so many times I'm not sure which version is real anymore. In some of them, I ignore the call. In others, I arrive 10 minutes earlier, and maybe that changes everything. But in the version that actually happened, the only one that matters, I answered the phone, grabbed my coat, and walked straight into something I still don't understand. My name is Daniel Rourke. I'm a detective. Or at least, I was, before this case. Before the second call. The first call came in just after 9 p.m. Missing child. 8-year-old boy. Name, Oliver Hayes. Last seen outside his house, playing in the yard while his father fixed a broken fence. Standard procedure. I'd worked cases like this before. You move fast. You assume the worst, but you hope for the best. I got to the house in under 10 minutes. The father met me halfway down the driveway. He wasn't shouting. Wasn't crying. He just looked, confused. Like reality hadn't caught up to him yet. He was right there, he kept saying. I turned around for a second, just a second. I've heard that line more times than I can count. It's always a second. It's never enough. We searched the property first. Then the street. Then the woods behind the house. 9 units came in. Neighbors joined. Flashlights cutting through the dark like thin, useless blades. No footprints leading away. No signs of struggle. No sound. Nothing. And that's what bothered me. Not the disappearance. The silence after. At around midnight, I noticed something no one else seemed to care about. The ground near the fence. Not disturbed. Not dug up. Just, slightly uneven. Like it had been walked over too many times. Anyone else come through here tonight? I asked the father. He shook his head immediately. No. Just me and Oliver. He hesitated. Then added. And the man. That was the first time I heard about him. Man? I asked. The father nodded slowly. Yeah. I saw him earlier. Across the street. Just standing there. Did you talk to him? No. Did Oliver? I don't know. We found him about 20 minutes later. Not hiding. Not running. Just sitting on a bus stop bench 3 blocks away. Like he'd been waiting. His name was Aaron Voss. Mid-30s. No visible injuries. No panic. No confusion. Just calm. Too calm. I approached him carefully. You mind telling me what you're doing out here this late? He looked up at me, and I swear. For a second, it felt like he recognized me. Not in the usual way. Something deeper. Like he already knew how this conversation would go. I was watching, he said. Watching what? I asked. The boy. That was enough. We brought him in immediately. In the interrogation room, nothing made sense. He didn't deny being there. Didn't deny seeing the kid. But he wouldn't admit to anything either. You were watching him, I said. Yes. Why? Because I was told to. By who? He smiled slightly. That's not something you'd believe. I leaned forward. Try me. He studied my face for a long moment. Then said. By the same thing that told you to come back. That didn't make any sense. At least, not then. We held him as long as we legally could. No evidence. No witnesses placing him near the exact moment Oliver disappeared. Nothing. So we let him go. And that's when the second call came in. 2:17 a.m. I remember the time because I hadn't slept. Couldn't. Something about the case felt unfinished. Like a sentence cut off halfway through. Dispatch sounded different this time. Tense. Urgent. Another child, they said. Different neighborhood. Same circumstances. Gone without a trace. That's when the pattern started forming. And that's when I made my first real mistake. I went back to Aaron. Off the record. I found him walking along the edge of the woods outside town. Didn't even try to run when he saw me. Something else is missing now, isn't it? He said. I grabbed him, shoved him against a tree. 2 kids are gone, I snapped. You were near both locations. He didn't resist. Didn't fight. Just looked at me with that same calm expression. You still think I'm the one taking them? Then explain it. I shouted. Explain how this keeps happening. He leaned in slightly. Lowered his voice. And said something I'll never forget. I don't take them. I guide them. That's when I lost control. I took him. Somewhere no one would find us. An abandoned maintenance building near the old quarry. Concrete walls. No windows. No sound escaping. I told myself I was doing what needed to be done. That time mattered. That those kids were still alive. That I could fix this. I tied him to a chair. Turned on a single overhead light. And started asking questions. Where are they? Silence. Are they alive? Silence. What did you do to them? He flinched slightly at that one. But not from fear. From disappointment. You're still asking the wrong questions, he said. Hours passed. Nothing changed. Except me. I started noticing things. Small things. The way he looked at me. Not like a suspect. Like a memory. You know this place, he said suddenly. I froze. What? This feeling, he continued. The walls, the quiet, the weight in the air. I hadn't said anything about that. But he was right. There was a weight. A pressure. Like being underground, even though we weren't. You felt it before, he said. I shook my head. No. He smiled again. Not mocking. Certain. Yes. That's when the headache hit. Sharp. Blinding. Like something forcing its way into my mind. Images started breaking through. Fragments. A flashlight beam. Dirt walls. Children's voices echoing in a tight space. I staggered back. You're lying, I said. He shook his head slowly. No. I'm reminding you. I left him there. Needed air. Needed distance. Needed to think. But the images didn't stop. I went home and tore through everything. Drawers. Closets. Old boxes I hadn't opened in years. And then I found it. A stack of drawings. Mine. Crude. Childish. But detailed. Too detailed. They all showed the same thing. A hole in the ground. Children standing around it. And something inside. Something watching. That's when I remembered. Not everything. Not clearly. But enough. There was a place. In the woods. Hidden. Forgotten. Or at least, supposed to be. I went there just before dawn. Didn't call it in. Didn't tell anyone. I don't know why. Maybe I was afraid of what they'd find. Or maybe. I already knew. The entrance was still there. Covered in debris. But not gone. Never gone. I stood there for a long time. Staring into the darkness. And then I heard it. A voice. Faint. Distant. Daniel. I should have run. I should have sealed it off. I should have called for backup. But I didn't. I stepped inside. The air changed immediately. Colder. Heavier. Wrong. The tunnel stretched deeper than I remembered. Or maybe I just never saw it clearly before. The walls were covered in marks. Scratches. Names. So many names. Some of them fresh. And then I heard them. Children. Not crying. Not screaming. Laughing. I followed the sound. Heart pounding. Breath shaking. Until the tunnel opened into something massive. A chamber. Wide. Deep. Impossible. And they were there. All of them. Standing in a circle. Still. Silent. Watching me. The missing kids. Oliver. The others. Relief hit me first. Then confusion. Then something worse. Recognition. You came back, one of them said. I stepped forward slowly. I'm here to take you home. They didn't move. You already did, another one said. The ground didn't shake. Nothing physical changed. But inside my head. Everything broke. Memories flooded in. Clear now. Complete. I had been here before. As a child. And I hadn't been alone. I brought others. Not by force. Never by force. We were called. And I listened. You showed us the way, the first child said. Something moved behind them. Slow. Massive. Watching. I couldn't see it fully. But I felt it. Waiting. I backed away. For the first time in my life. I felt truly helpless. I turned and ran. I don't remember how I got out. I just remember the light. And the silence after. When I got back to the building. Aaron was gone. Still tied. Still locked. But gone. That was 2 days ago. They're still searching. They won't find anything. Because they're looking in the wrong place. And me? I haven't slept. Because every night. I hear them. Not outside. Not in the walls. Below. Always below. And sometimes. I hear my own voice with them. Calling someone else down. If you're listening to this. If you're anywhere near those woods. Don't follow the voices. Don't answer them. Because once you do. You don't just disappear. You become part of it. And I think. I always was.